Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? How are y'all doing today?
What's up? What's up? Another
Hey.
Monday, new episode.
I know. Starr, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good.
You sure?
I'm feeling good.
You
Why
nervous?
do I feel like there's some tension there?
Perry, please don't. We're not even gonna start with him
I
today.
mean, he
Don't
just
rile the
opened up.
beast. Don't rile the beast.
He opened up with violence as the
I didn't
first
do
move.
anything.
He wakes up and chooses violence daily.
All right, hold on.
That's a him problem.
Can we ask the community? Hold on, let's wait because I want to ask the community if they feel like I wake up and choose violence. So let's wait till a couple more of our friends join the show.
Oh no!
Because
Carrie, he's waiting for the people that's gonna side with him too.
Right.
I wouldn't do a darndest thing.
Okay.
I can't. I don't understand why y'all think I wake up in the morning and choose violence.
Because you stay coming for people.
But you know, I can just imagine that. I can imagine you waking up and being like, hate. Right?
That is literally against everything that I am. I can't believe that
When you're
both of
asleep.
you guys.
It's against everything you are about when you're asleep or like when you're awake.
My name literally means God's peace.
Does it?
Literally means God's peace.
Really?
Literally.
What happened?
I live up to that every day, and there's no violence at all in my heart.
God's peace? That's what
God's
Jeffrey
peace. Bow, bow.
Where'd you find that at?
In the something in the name Bible, in the name book.
In the name Bible.
In the name book.
You got that, Carrie? Name book.
What?
See,
What
both of y'all are being excessively aggressive towards me, and I don't have to take it.
Oh
I do
no!
not have to take it.
I'm going to ask somebody else named Jeffrey and be like, Jeffrey,
They probably don't know.
God's peace.
Like this, Carrie.
Look at me.
Just saying.
Serenity. Serenity now.
Right. You
Hey,
learn
man,
something new every day. I never knew that that's what Jeffrey meant.
Well, you learned something today.
Hey, I gotta give Starr props, right? Because we totally ambushed you last week with an invitation to the show.
And
you actually showed up, right?
What else is she gonna do?
And
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
that name does not mean God.
Oh, no. It does. I looked it up. Boom.
What does Jeffrey mean?
Boom. Meaning of Jeffrey is God's peace. Thank you.
I'm about to Google that. I don't
Carrie, because I need some receipts that don't come from little God's peace over here.
Wow.
That's like meta world peace.
Y'all are so trifling.
That's what's going on right now.
So trifling. Why are
he
y'all
is
this
not
way?
lying. He is
Thank you. What is y'all?
The name Jeff, primarily a male name of English origin, means God peace. Not, but see, the problem is it's not God's peace.
Yeah. It's God, his God peace, same thing. Curtis, my middle name means courteous. So I mean, we all in there. All in there. Boom.
Oh, so you got a strong name. That's what you're saying.
There's power in the name. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Huh? In the name
of Jesus, not Jeffrey.
But notice
you're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs.
I'm just kind of curious of what happened to the possessiveness of peace. Like it's not God's peace.
Who else other peace is going to be?
It could be anybody's peace.
So it's more than one of them now?
God peace.
God peace. It's in there.
That just sounds broken a little bit.
It's a no for me.
Jeff, did you create this website?
It ain't got to be a yes for you because it's in there.
You created this webpage. I know you
did. Actually, I ain't never learned how to build no webpage yet. I'm waiting on my wife to teach me. She won't teach me though.
I just never heard of that.
It comes for everybody.
Don't be mad at me because y'all's names are
just
regular.
But say it correctly. It's God peace.
Okay.
God's.
Right.
Okay. God peace.
Make it seem like you're serenity now.
It's still pretty great.
Is it?
I would assume. Hey, so welcome to the show. It's episode 53.
You counted.
Did y'all know that?
Congratulations, guys. That's
I'm happy for
awesome.
53
Yeah.
episodes.
53 episodes, man. We in here.
We're 47 away from our first goal of 100 episodes.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow. Y'all
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It has been
Hey, so before we get to introductions, we got to do what is the most important part of the show. What's everybody drinking? Starr, what you drinking?
I have a smorgasbord. I have some water and some honey jack.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. You can't go wrong with honey jack. That's
You can't.
No.
it's like a guy that you know. It's like, I know what I'm gonna get with honey jack, right? You know what I mean? It's not
Right.
like a surprise where it could
No.
go bad. It could go south on me.
No.
Jeff, what are
Well,
you drinking?
So me, I told y'all I wasn't gonna drink this week for the next couple weeks, but I knew Starr was gonna drink, so I had to. I wasn't gonna let her drink by herself because that's what alcoholics do. So I am drinking. I'm drinking Jameson Black Barrel today. So that's kind of what's in here, and I love it.
Hey, man,
And I got some water. I'm not gonna drink a lot of it. It's just I'm drinking that. I got some water back here too.
I thought you would have been drinking after what happened in Georgia over the weekend.
No, you know what? After
Carrie.
after 2017, where we lost on that touchdown throw in the back of the end zone, I'm probably a little bit less emotionally invested. Like, I want them to win, and I'll be excited when they win, but losing sleep when they lose, not so much.
Can I ask a question though? What is it about the Georgia teams? I mean, all the way up to professional. Why can we not seal the deal? And I was thinking, okay, the Braves then kicked it off. They didn't set it up for y'all. But they always get to the big game and choke. What is that?
I do think so. Keisha is in the comments. Big
Keisha,
ups
stay in the
Keisha.
comments.
Keisha, I think, is on to something here. She says it was planned. Saban called Kirby, like, take one for the team. I think the SEC, I'm a big conspiracy person, right?
Oh, no.
Yes, you are.
SEC said, we need two teams to be in this playoff. Go on and drop one game for us, and then we'll make this a SEC championship, just to show the dominance of the SEC football conference. So that's
I feel like they do that in basketball and football, honestly.
But I have heard a theory about why Atlanta is not good at sports. It is because someone calls it the stripper index. There's too many strippers in the city of Atlanta. That's what I've heard. It's like cities that have a lot of strip clubs, with the exception of LA, can't win championships.
Can I leave?
That's what I heard. That's just what I heard. I'm just saying that I've heard that true. And it's like they be in the clubs too much. And whether it's the strip clubs or the nightclubs or whatever, it's too much going on.
Who told you that? So I could go have a conversation.
Don't ever repeat it again.
Do you really want to know who told me?
Was it Danielle? Don't blame this on your wife.
No, I'm not. No, it's just somebody that I know that's always in clubs. It was like, hey, that's what's going on out here.
Hold on, was it?
This is what they say.
Was
like, after every game, all the players are in the strip clubs. The night before the games, they're in the strip clubs. That's why they can't win no game, because they're not focused. They all over the place. And I was like, makes a lot of sense.
Obviously, Carrie doesn't mean something holy and innocent like my name does.
No, my name actually means a water feature or something. It's like a river or something. I have no idea.
My gosh.
I thought it was something cool. Nope, it's Scottish. There's a river named Carrie.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, man.
It's sad.
Carrie, did we talk about what you're drinking so we can go ahead and get what the people came to talk about today?
I'm going to do a shot of Glenlivet, and then I have this huge cup of water.
Come on, Carrie.
I got to get this run on, so I got to.
I'm for the Glenlivet, yes.
The Glenlivet just loosens things up so you can breathe a little bit easier.
Correct. I support it.
Is that what they say?
It's that. Who says that? That's on my own scientific method.
Okay, I didn't know if the same person who told you about the strip clubs.
Said God peace says that.
I wanted to know if the same people who told him about the strip club philosophy told him that if you take a shot before you run, it loosen your lungs up.
Hey, think about it. When's the last time the Dolphins won a championship?
They never gonna win.
Mm.
But hold on now. Miami used to be fire in the 90s.
Back in the day.
The Miami Hurricanes, and you know good and well they had strippers running all off and through that school.
We're not talking about the Miami Hurricanes. That's not okay.
No, because they used to beat up on Florida State.
I mean, we beat them this year, okay?
And then go to the strip club.
We beat them this year. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Both of y'all sorry.
Trigger.
Right.
Best defense in the world. Just lost. Okay.
Huh? Excuse me?
Yo.
Y'all going to a ball game this year?
Don't
now?
worry about it. We in transition. I own my stuff.
Y'all been in transition 10 years.
Well, sometimes it happens.
Y'all been in transition.
Healing takes time.
I mean, Florida State. That's your team, Florida State?
Yes.
I think y'all lost to Florida Atlantic.
Well, we trying to rebuild.
The shade.
But I'm gonna stick beside my team. I have my degree from there, and that's fine.
Hey, so I will say that, like, the one thing I don't tolerate from people, we can talk trash about Georgia, and you can do all that you want to do, but you better have a degree from the school that you're talking trash with.
And none of those Miami
because see,
fans
somebody
be
tried to
having a
come for your
degree.
boy. Somebody tried to come for your boy yesterday on Twitter about Alabama winning, and I was like, "But bro, did you graduate from Alabama?"
Questions that need answers.
Right. Relevant.
I got a degree, and I got my receipt on the wall. Actually, it's not on the wall.
Question.
It's in the tube. It's in the tube. I ain't putting it on the wall.
I do feel that is a big thing with Alabama. It's like all these people be like, roll tide. They're like, dude, you went to Atlanta Tech. What you talking about? Like, what are you talking about,
bro? You went to University of Birmingham Central.
What?
You didn't even go to UAB's main campus, bro.
They're like, hold up. What? Nah, bro.
You went to East Alabama Tech.
You went to Daytona Beach Community
College.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, bro, come
Daytona
on.
Beach University.
You can't have no degree in welding from Alabama Tech and talk about Alabama like it's your school.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. That's not going to be a thing. I'm sorry. Anyway, focus.
No, I mean, but you have a valid point. That is a valid point. Like, people be like Ryan hard. And you're like, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an Alabama decal on your car?
My decal says alumni.
What?
I'm too OCD for that. I don't have any decal. Oh, my license plate. My plate is Florida State. That's about all you're gonna get from me.
Yeah. I mean, I ride with Georgia State.
As you should.
As you should.
I love Georgia State, right? That's why I take so offense when schools like Kennesaw State start talking trash. I'm like, well, did you just get here? What?
Born yesterday. Kennesaw State just played yesterday.
Right. Talk about we just want to build a competitive team right now.
Kennesaw State crossed yesterday.
Out there with the jacket.
Oh, y'all are petty.
Kennesaw State is the iota of fraternities.
Oh, don't do that.
Hey, I'm sorry. Is there any iotas watching today? I apologize.
So petty.
The shade.
Right. Because I heard they said Kyle from Living Single was one of their founders.
What?
Really?
So what?
Yeah, Kyle Barker is an iota from Living Single.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I
did you say he was a founder?
I think he one of their founders. All their founders still alive because they was founded like yesterday.
Kyle, what?
Barker
from Living Single.
I know, but I'm just doing the math in my head. It's like, wait, carry the 1 minus the 2.
Jeffrey don't really know.
He just choosing violence. That's why it's not God's peace. That's why it's God.
Hey, let me tell you something. But the G is still capital. You feel me? It wasn't a lowercase G, huh? It was the big one.
They could be for Georgia.
Yeah.
Big G behind your head.
No. The Georgia G is called the power G.
It's called the what?
It's called the power G.
Why is that the
Shit, I don't know.
power
That's what they
G?
call it. They call it the power G.
Why? Why do they call it the power G?
Shit, if I know. Hold on. What Keisha talking about? She said she knew an iota. And I was like, "Sir, you're a unicorn, bro, because you never see iotas together."
Hey, one of my cousins is an iota.
Have you ever seen two? Have you ever seen two?
Yeah, no. At Florida State, we had about 5 or 6 or 7. Really, it was a set of twin brothers.
That only count as one.
No, it doesn't. They are 2 different people, but we had at least 5 at Florida State when I was there.
The shade.
Are you sure you weren't just seeing the same one dressed differently across campus?
Cut it out. They had about 5.
Keisha, I'm with you. I'm not Greek. I can't talk trash, but I love hearing the trash.
Actually, the only one I ever talk trash to are the iotas. I mean, I really talk trash to all the dudes because, it is what it is. But really, mainly, it's the iotas.
It's just iotas. Iotas kept all the hate.
I'm a Delta, and I don't talk any trash. People give them slack because they were founded so
yesterday
later.
Oh, I get it. I get
yesterday.
it. I do the math, right?
I think they were founded in like 69.
But I'm kind of mad that we got there. I'm mad that we went from. This is what happens on this show, right? We were talking about football over the weekend or drinks. Somehow got to Florida State, went to Kennesaw State, then went to Iotas, and now here we are talking about Greeks.
But the sad part about it is the way my mind works is all of that makes perfect sense because there's a through line.
It's a Drunk Mondays line.
Yeah.
That, like in the show, this is what this looks like. Afterwards, after you listen to it, it's like, what the fuck? What?
All right, pause. Well, pause. Time out. Starr, introduce yourself, please, because we done a whole 20 minutes of the show, and we ain't let our guests introduce themselves. So tell us who you are and who you represent.
Okay, so my name is Starr Davis, and today in this capacity, I will be speaking as a former public defender in Fulton County. I am still barred in Georgia, will always maintain my license, no longer live in Georgia, am a Miami resident now. But I also have a nonprofit organization called the Starr Institute, and we educate, engage, and empower youth in the community about child sexual abuse and exploitation. So I left the traditional practice of law to start my nonprofit.
Amazing. So, hey, real quick, if we get in trouble in Georgia, what you're saying is you can come back and represent us if we get in trouble for something.
I don't know. I have to think about it with you. I got carried, but I have to think about it with you.
This is how I know you wake up and choose violence.
See what I'm saying?
You instantly go to, so the amount of trouble I get in, can I call you and get out of trouble?
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. Your boy gonna always keep a good lawyer in the book now. Because let me tell you, hey, the way the police roll, man, I ain't trying to get caught up. I am not trying to get caught up.
And you should not.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And so, like, I'm gonna always keep a circle. And if I need a lawyer, I just need to know. In the event that somebody don't pick up the phone, on to the next. You ain't gonna catch your boy up slipping now.
Slipping and tripping.
Starr said she was a public defender, right? Which meant, did you get your cases like on the way in? Like you had a caseload, right?
Well, we did have a caseload, but we're going to talk about that because the way you just said that public defender, I ain't like that. That's totally disrespectful.
Hold on. So, there was a tone. There was an undertone.
There was not a tone.
It was a tone. And let's clear this up for your viewers, right? Because I was deliberate in becoming a public defender. You stop. Because this is a common misconception, right? So as a public defender, you represent indigent clients. Those are people who cannot afford an attorney. Well, the gag is the vast majority of people in this world cannot afford an attorney. And so Gideon versus Wainwright says, hey, regardless of who you are, you need to be zealously represented by a person, right? You need to have an attorney. And so we catch a bad rap because people are like, oh, these are not real lawyers. These are public pretenders. I mean, I've heard you can.
Who said that?
Oh, so many people say it. Let's start with the clients. let's start with the public. That's the perception that they get. Oh, attorneys are unkempt, public defenders are unkempt, or they don't know anything, or they're getting, I had a client tell me one time, Miss Davis, I know that you get a bonus for every plea that you take. Sir, I could have retired a long time ago if that was the case. Like, that is not what this is about. So
I heard the joke was that the public defenders got C's in law school.
No, that's C's. He said C's.
That was the joke.
It's not, well, and see, and that is, and it's unfortunate though, because that is the misperception. Because what I tell people all the time is there are very good public defenders and there are very bad public defenders. There are very good private attorneys and there are very bad private attorneys. And so my thing is, if I'm paying you top dollar and you don't return my call, you don't prepare for my case, you don't investigate my case, that's a problem, right? So like I would tell my clients and like I tell the general public is, hey, listen, you need to take people as they are. Hold me accountable to what it is that I'm saying as an attorney. And if I don't live up to that, okay, then you can talk. But I'm telling you, educated people don't understand. It was a nurse in the jail one time. And she was like, oh, Miss Davis, when you become a real lawyer, you're going to be fired.
Oh,
okay.
The shade.
Hold on, was she a real nurse?
Or was she one of them,
was she one of them ITT tech nurses? Or was she like a real nurse?
Listen to you. But see, and that's what people do. That's how people do. And so that's what they think. But it's not. You have to take people, as they are. And truth be told, like as the public defender, I'm in the courtroom with the judge, with the prosecutor. I know how this works, right? I can probably, depending on the facts of my relationship with that person, I can probably get you something better than somebody else might get, depending on the facts. Okay, let's be clear on what the facts are and what your criminal history is. But I just want people to stop treating public defenders like that, because we get a bad rap. And there are people like me and many other people. It's a whole organization that I was trained by. It's called Gideon's Promise. It's a nonprofit organization based out of Atlanta, and they train public defenders. Like, we are people who want to be public defenders. We want to zealously advocate for the underdog.
That's what's up. If you think about it, it's actually like a really noble cause, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone needs representation, and it shouldn't be an economic equity gap on being represented correctly or right,
Absolutely.
So, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's why
but real talk, Keisha said thank you for your service. I mean, that's real. I mean, because you think about just the criminal justice system,
right?
And how many of our people are pushed through that system unjustly. And so without quality, I can only imagine how many more people would be in horrible situations if we didn't have quality. So at least some quality public defender. So shout out to you and everybody else that's doing their damn thing.
Well, thank you.
Hold on. Keisha says she need a lawyer right now, but what? Keisha, see, every week, Keisha,
what kind of lawyer does she need?
Oh, she got in a car accident.
You should need somebody that's going to help.
I'll give her. Tell her that I'll give you some people.
Hold on, but Keisha, she in Houston though, right?
She needs somebody that's going to help her.
I thought she was in Georgia. Oh, but I have a friend that's out in Houston, so I can reach out to him and see if he can refer someone.
Yeah, because I know I got some people in Atlanta, but I don't know nobody that's in Houston.
In Atlanta. My
she
bad.
Needs somebody that's going to help her get with Chrysler, because Chrysler trying to mess her up.
Oh, okay, that's right. I'm missing. See, this is why I can't be no attorney, because I'm missing facts of the case.
A consumer lawyer.
Let me tell you something. I knew I wasn't gonna be no lawyer, because them niggas they go to school way too much. I barely got through the 4 years that I was in school. So
at Power G.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I did my 5 and I was done. Everybody like
at Power G.
Power G, baby. No, everybody be like, hey, you gonna go back to school and get your MBA? No.
Why?
Well, you never know.
Don't be hating on the MBAs.
I'm not hating on the MBA. I would love, if I was a good student, I would go back. But I
say
know.
never say never because I was never going back
Yeah.
to school. I even graduated early. And when I told my friends that I was going to law school, they was like, what? Are you okay?
Right.
See, hold on. See, key point here is you graduated early,
Yeah.
Hey,
meaning that you were
graduated late.
you were smart enough to get there.
Hey man, I
Hey,
took the long route.
Carrie,
When I went to
your work ethic is
grad
different.
school, when I
Your
went
work
to
ethic is
grad
different.
school, business school was a totally different type of education. It's mostly like critical thinking.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. Like the way my mama prayed me through them first 5 years,
Hey,
I don't think
what
it's
you
enough
think it
prayer
is?
save. I don't think the prayer warriors can be solicited again for the
We're
rest
like,
of that.
we're like, that's why we dropped that possessive ass off of
Hey,
God.
hey,
This ain't
hey,
God's piece.
the prayer warriors went to the
But-
well one too many times to get me through school the first go round, so they can't go back. It ain't no coming back.
God
That's
peace
silly.
out.
Yeah,
That's silly.
they're like, you graduated, sure did.
Hey,
I'm out.
I ain't
So,
mad at you.
hey man, let's jump into the show, man. We 30 minutes in, and we got like a lot to cover.
We got some good stuff.
But y'all are crazy, so we behind schedules. It's all good though.
I blame you. So
Yeah, you're probably right. It's all on me. Carrie, take it away, bro.
oh, see how he do? See how he do? We ain't talking about none of that. He just
All
gonna
right, you want me to answer first?
see. Oh, so that's what it was. It was a boomerang.
No, I mean I'm ready, or maybe I'm not. So just so that folks know, just the kind of the overarching theme for the conversation today is really asking Starr just about the Ahmaud Arbery case, about the Rittenhouse case, and just to kind of get her broad thoughts, like not necessarily
Right.
to dive in, into
Right.
the underbelly of it, but really to know about the inner workings and why things happen the way they do.
Yeah.
So that's going to kind of be the overarching theme. And obviously, as you guys know, throw your questions in the comment section and we'll answer them. Join the convo.
Right. Don't be looking for a legal consultation though.
Yeah. This is
Don't be
not
telling
the
me about
space.
Don't be telling me about your divorce and how
Yeah.
you want the house, but someone else trying to take the car, the kids. We can't do all that.
Don't be in Starr's DMs later talking about, hey, what's
So
up
you
on the
wanna
free
play
legal
like-
advice. That is
Y'all
not
hiring?
what we're at today. That is not what we're doing today. You're not getting free legal advice. You can hire Starr to get legal advice, but you are not getting it for free.
No, but I think Jeff's point is well taken. There's a lot of kind of conversation going out there about the Ahmaud Arbery case and the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and we just wanted to bring in someone that actually knows legal stuff, right, to help us understand what are we looking at and what's going on here, so that we could be more knowledgeable viewers and parts of our community as well. So, Jeff, what you got? What's your first question?
Oh man, so I really wanted to know. So one of the things that I noticed at the end, so like a lot, I didn't really pay attention to much either case, because I was really just trying to protect my mental health about all of it. And normally I would be knee deep in it, but once specifically for the Ahmaud Arbery case, once the sentences were handed down, one of the things I noticed was that each one of the three defendants got hit with different charges, right? And so I was confused as to how, it's one murder. How do three different people get hit with three different sets of charges? Like so I guess the question is, how do charges get assessed? And yeah, just start there. Help me out with that.
Okay, so overwhelmingly, the majority of times that a case is initiated by an arrest. So typically, that's going to be an officer has placed a person in custody, right? So we're in custody, boom. So say you get pulled over for whatever reason. All right, now you got first appearance. When you get arrested without a warrant, right? That means I saw you do something to police, and then you get arrested. You have to go to first appearance within 48 hours without a warrant, within 72 hours with a warrant. First appearance is court at the jail, right? That is court at the jail. You go before a magistrate judge, and that judge is going to read off your charges, inform you of what they are, and if it's an offense that will allow you to get a bond, then they will see that. So what they will look at is your criminal history. They'll look at if you've ever had a case before but didn't appear to court when you're supposed to, or you got rearrested or something like that. So they're going to assess that. There are some charges that a magistrate court cannot even hear. So like murder, you're not going to get a bond. You're going to go move to the next. They can't give you they don't have the authority to do that, right? So that's your first appearance. So let's say at the first appearance, you get your bond, right? So then you bypass a preliminary hearing. But for the person who does not get a bond at their first appearance, then they're going to have a preliminary hearing. So then again, this is when they're going to go before a judge, but now you're going to be at the court, right? You're not going to be at court in the jail. You're going to be at court at, let's just say Fulton County Superior Court, right? And we're going to have a preliminary hearing in which the state is going to put on some evidence. The defense is going to be able to put up some things. And the judge is really listening for probable cause. Is it more likely than not you committed the crime that they are alleging that you committed, right? They could say, yes, it's going to be bound over. It's going to be Superior Court. You can argue bond again, right? Sometimes it's granted, sometimes it's not. Or they can say, you know what? I don't find that there was probable cause. I don't think that it's more likely than not that you committed this crime. So we're not going to find probable cause, right? But even though the judge says that there, the prosecutor can still come and prosecute that case, because there's this thing in the Constitution that gives the DA unbridled discretion. So that means they get to decide which cases they want to prosecute and which cases they want to decline to prosecute, right? And so what they'll do is they'll have a grand jury. And so the grand jury is when the defense is not allowed to go to the grand jury, okay? The state is going to go. They're going to impanel. It's usually somewhere, I think, between 16 and 23 jurors, and they're going to just present the evidence. And they're going to say if they think that that case should be indicted, it's going to be called a true bill. So then that's how the case gets indicted, right? And then there's going to be a grand jury warrant that's going to get put out. So you may have never been arrested for something. They could have been investigating the case, and then they took it to grand jury. Grand jury true bills it. There's an indictment, and now you get pulled over for a traffic stop, and they see that you have a warrant, and then you're going to get arrested, right? So then once you get arrested from there, you have an arraignment. So an arraignment is basically the same thing, kind of like a preliminary hearing, but now your case has been indicted, right? Your case is indicted. You're going to be at the Superior Court. The judge is going to tell you what you've been charged with, because then you need to know what you have to defend yourself against, right? And so then that's the arraignment. And typically people are going to plead not guilty, right? You could be guilty of sin. It don't matter. You're going to plead not guilty because you don't have the facts. You don't have the evidence. You don't know what the state has against you. So you're going to plead not guilty. You're going to get a next court date. That sets in motion pretrial motions and hearings. So there's a way that you can kind of keep out some evidence, right? So say, for instance, you're going to have a motion you trying to suppress, right? A motion to suppress something. So say that you got charged with drugs. You were in a car, right? Well, if the stop was illegal, right? If that stop was illegal, if you were detained illegally, the stop was illegal, the arrest was illegal, then the law says anything they found, you could have had a kilo worth of drugs in your car. Anything they found is fruit of the poisonous tree. So that evidence doesn't get to come in, because the law is saying if you don't do something properly, we're not going to allow you to use that evidence against that person. So if that was the only thing, well, then your case is over, right? If that was all you was charged with was this drugs and it can't come in now, there's nothing there. You see what I'm saying? And so you hash out those different things with pre-motions, right? And whatever else. And then, okay, you keep moving. And then you have pretrial conferences and trial calendar. This is when we setting it up. This is when the judge, and it's different depending on the county, depending on the judge, how they want to set up their calendar. But like, this person's up first. If this person ain't ready, and they got to have cases back to back, because you might be first out and then that case might plea. So then the next person got to be ready to go, right? So you have to be prepared. And then of course you go to trial. And then that's when all the body of evidence is presented. And then you get to defend against that. and then you are either convicted or you are acquitted. So that is typically how charges come about.
I see racism all off and through that. I'm sorry, Karen.
Well, I mean, it's just, I think it's just kind of crazy because, like, when they charged the 3 suspects, I guess, I don't know what you call them, defendants, right?
Correct.
Defendants in Ahmaud Arbery's case, they had like 9 different charges, right? And it was like, dang, I thought it was just like murder, but it was like aggravated assault with a vehicle, attempted murder.
Because the way that you get to the charges are by the facts of the case. So if they were literally hunting him down with his car, a car can be a weapon. So that's how you get ag assault. So that's how people end up getting several counts with one body of facts, right? It is them trying to pull out how many of the, because there's elements, right? Because you can't just throw, well, let's not say you can't, because unfortunately some prosecutors do. Let's just throw it up and see what sticks, right? And sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, they overcharged, right? But a good prosecutor is going to look at the facts that they have and then make sure that they can meet the elements of all of the offense, all the elements for that offense before they charge. But they were warranted based on the facts because of the different things that you do. And then it ends up like, so say, for instance, if it was Ahmaud and 2 other people, well, then a count would be for each person. You see what I'm saying? Each victim. That's how it works.
So I'm going to come back to this because I think this plays in with the Rittenhouse trial a lot too, because like when you start looking at some of the charges, I think that matches people astonishment with no indictment or no guilty verdicts for Rittenhouse, because it's like when you look at some of those charges, I think it's important for people to separate or try to separate their feelings from what they know happened to the legal definition of the legal elements of, because like it's 3 people were murdered, right? 3 people lost or 2 people lost their lives. One another person was injured, right?
Right.
And it's like, but how does this all happen? Is there no type of legal charge for even accounting for this person losing their life? And it feels like that's kind of left wide open in the case of the Rittenhouse trial, right?
Well, I think that it's just, and this is what people don't understand, right? Because what I have seen is I have seen trials and we thought for sure, like, all right, I mean, you don't never know, but it's kind of like we got the facts are on our side and a person got convicted. And then you've seen like, oh, this is a Hail Mary. We ain't got no choice but to take a plea. But to go to trial. And you go to trial and they get acquitted. Because what you fail to realize is at the end of the day, it's in the hands of the jury, right? And so the jury gets to determine who they, so the evidence is the physical evidence that they have, right? But then witness testimony is also evidence. So as a juror, I get to decide if you're credible or not. It could be the way you look, it could be the way you dress, it could be, who knows? Because what people fail to realize is that people don't leave their experiences outside of the courtroom, right? You try, right? Because you're supposed to be fair and impartial. That's what the judge is supposed to be. That's what the prosecutor is, fair and impartial, but people don't leave their experiences. And in the case of with, Rittenhouse, Kenosha is like 80% white, right? And there was only one Black person on both of the trials, on the McMichael's trial and on the Rittenhouse trial. There was only one Black person on that jury.
Right.
And so you can't take away, and I'll give you a good example, was with OJ, right? With his criminal case, right? There were jurors who came out and they said, we did not want to convict him. That is not what we wanted to do, right? Forget how I felt. I might have felt like he was, right? I might have felt like the facts may have been such, the evidence may have been so that he did what was alleged, but that's not the verdict they delivered, right?
Right.
And that's just part of it, because it's either you have a democracy or you have a dictatorship. And it's kind of like in
So
the middle.
let me ask you this. So going back to the McMichael's trial, right?
Mhm.
The idea that each defendant got very kind of distinct verdicts, right? Like Travis McMichael got something different than whatever the other McMichael got, and the third guy, right?
Mhm.
How does that play in with like appeals? Does that make it does that make it stronger? Does it bear no meaning on like the possibility of appealing? Because
Okay.
it seems like the jury was really thoughtful, and like they all didn't do the same thing. We thought about you very individually.
Right.
How
As they
does that
should.
play in? Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with an appeal. Okay, so this is what
Okay.
people have to understand about an appeal. An appeal is not an opportunity for you to retry your case. An appeal, you can only be granted an appeal if, like, the judge finds that you were denied due process, or if there was a miscarriage of justice, or if somebody was like negligent, or some type of misconduct took place, right? And so what's going to happen is the lawyer is going to file this appeal, and then they're going to request that the case be reviewed. And this is a written, right? This is a written summation of them trying to get it. So in Georgia, we have the Court of Appeals, right? And then we have the Supreme Court of Georgia. So most of those cases on appeal are going to go to the Court of Appeals. And so they're going to look at it, right? There's a panel of judges, and they're going to determine if one of those things, because like I said, this is not, oh, I lost the case, let me try it again, let me try to get a second bite at the apple. That's not what an appeal is. An appeal is the defendant was harmed in some kind of way, and that harm was a miscarriage of justice, and so they should get a second look. It is not, oh, because I lost the case. That's not what an appeal is for.
Yeah.
So quick
That's
question.
helpful.
And so Daniel, I see your question, bro. I am unclear as to what it means. So maybe could you restate it or make it a little clearer so that I can ask it to Starr? I'm assuming it's for Starr. Starr, one of my questions is so we're talking back about the other case. We didn't ask you about this, but the McMichael case, and then we're bringing it forward to the Mount Arbery case as well. How much power do judges have over sentencing? Like, do they have to adhere to the guidelines, or do they go, nah, bro, you know, because it seemed like with the officer with the other case, not the Mount Arbery case, it seemed like my man got a little bit lighter of a sentence than what should have gotten for what he did. So how much power do judges really have over the process of handing out sentencing?
So the judges have the discretion within the purview of the statute, right? So if the case is whatever they can do, whatever they feel. Now, what they typically look at is the egregiousness of the case, your criminal history, how terrible this case was. But they can only do, they are contained within the confines of that. So if it's 1 to 5 years, I could give you 1, or I could give you 5. But there are statutorily limits where it says, okay, the mandatory minimum. So say, for instance, in Georgia, armed robbery. If you're convicted of armed robbery, there's a mandatory minimum. The statute says you have to serve 10 years. The judge don't have that. They can go up, but they cannot go down, right? You have to serve those 10 years, and that's day to day, to the door is what we call it, right? So they have discretion within the confines of the statute. That's how
you're not counting. So when you say day to day, sorry to cut you off, you're not counting, like, assuming my bail or bond was denied and I had to sit in jail this entire court case. So it's 10 years from the time that verdict is stated and you get remanded to custody from that moment forward.
Usually they will count that time.
Okay.
But I don't know if anything has changed, right? Because I haven't practiced full time in almost 3 years. But you got to serve them. So even if, let's say, if you were in there for a year, right, and they're going to count that time towards it, you still got to do the 9 years. You got to get the 10 years.
Like, let me ask you this, and then Daniel, we're going to get to your question because I'm thankful for you to rephrase it. So thank you for rephrasing it. But so say you get convicted of something,
Mhm.
and the judge hands out a crazy like kind of sentencing, like goes max for something. Is that grounds for like appeal, or is that like
No, is he within the statutory limits? If
yeah,
you might think it's crazy, right? Because people are
right.
like, oh my God. But
So
if it's
like
within his
I
discretion, and that's the problem, right? That's the
I
problem.
could see racism all in that.
Bro, it's
Oh,
racism
well,
Because
all
well,
through the
I
system.
think there was
which
a
is
judge in Pennsylvania that
mhm,
got in trouble a few years ago because they looked back over his cases. It was like every black person you give him max penalties to on
right.
everything. And like
Exactly.
it wasn't concurrent, it was like consecutive sentencing or something. It was like, what's going on?
So that's the thing. So you have to remember that for me personally, I think that the Constitution needs to be revisited simply because it was written and there's a lot of biases in it, right? Because at the time, Black people were considered property, right? When the Constitution was written, it was not written for everyone, right? And so when you think about it, there are a lot of biases. And so we do have to revisit. But to your point, to be able to call a judge on something like that, it's going to take time. It's going to take time because you're going to have to show a pattern. It can't just be, oh, you did this to these 10, because they do have that discretion, which is, it can, considering whatever is going on, it could be a gift or a curse, right? And then
Right.
that's what the law is. The law is not black and white. There's a lot of gray area. And that's why we can see these same set of facts, and I can argue for the defense and this person can argue for the prosecution, because it's not black and white.
I got you. Well, we got some viewer questions.
Right.
Okay.
Coming
So
in hot and heavy.
let's cut into Daniel's question. He says, does it matter what time a case starts?
What do you
Like
mean?
I
What does it
guess the
matter?
scheduling of it. So if your case is first thing in the morning, is that to your benefit, or is that
Oh no, I mean, people are so this was the joke, because as the public defender, I'm going to always be in the courtroom, because I have the bulk of the cases, right? Now, what some judges will do, because they have a calendar, right? They have a calendar, and that calendar is numbered, right? So it's however the judge's case manager makes that case. But
gotcha?
what some judges will do is like, oh, public defender going to be here all day, and let the private attorneys come in and go, right? But that is assuming that you already have your case worked out and you have stuff
Mhm.
together. Depends on what the case is too, because if it's just a calendar call, that might just be, okay, this is it, we're ready for trial, we're not. And so it just might be the length of getting through the case. And if your name happens to be 80, then you're gonna be there for a while. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I
So
got
it
you.
doesn't really matter. Now, if the judge is, they're people, so they might be a little moody. They might be moody in the morning. They might be moody in the afternoon. That part is still the human factor.
Now, as a public defender, do you get to know the judges pretty well? Where you're like, this judge, not a morning person. That judge, not a
Yeah,
Friday
well,
person.
I think that it is not more so you caring about morning or not. It is more so like how they sentence with certain things. So it's like
Mm,
some judge
okay,
might not care about no drugs, but do put your hand, no domestic violence. Either way, they don't want you putting your hands on nobody. They don't stand for that, right?
right.
Because they're human too. So you
I
just
got
start to learn those type of things, and like how they might kind of sentence you on a case. Like if this person has no history, and the facts are not that bad, as opposed to this person, all right, this is your third time in here, she's
So
sick
do,
of
do
you.
do you know that, like, so do you look at, all right, facts of the case? I know this judge. Hey, bro, we just need to go ahead and plead this thing out because this ain't going to end well for you.
No, not me, because it's always your decision.
you. Mm,
My job as your attorney is to give you all of the facts, and for you to be able to make an informed decision. Whether you go to trial, whether you take a plea, we're going to be ready to rock and roll either way. Now, I can tell you, hey, in my experience, this is kind of how this judge will roll. But you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't make me feel away.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make me feel away if a client wants to go to trial, right?
So, and my assumption is, I guess in this example, my assumption is this client is, you looked at the evidence, client dude is guilty, or client woman is guilty. You know, this judge, say it's domestic violence. This judge hammers people on domestic violence. You're gonna, if we go to court based on your history and these facts, he's gonna give you the max, or she's gonna give you the max.
And they still do it.
It's part of your advice saying you might want to try to plead this out.
So part of my advice is, listen, it's about this. What do I know for sure? Because at the end of the day, I'm going home, whether you take a plea or whether you go to trial, right? So there is a chance that you might not. The only thing with a plea and with trial is that majority of the time, especially if it's a negotiated plea, the prosecutor says, like, we can join in and say, okay, we agreed on this 5 years of probation, 20 hours of community service. The case can be suspended once they successfully complete the community service. Most times judges are in agreement with that. Oh, y'all work something out? Okay, that's good. But my thing is, if they don't want to do it, then I can just tell you, listen, with this plea, you know exactly what you're going to be sentenced to, even if that's time. You know exactly what that is. You can plan your life. With going to trial, you don't know, right? And if you're okay with taking that risk, that's okay. We ready. I'm gonna be prepared.
Right.
And that's it. So it is really their decision. I don't ever pressure a person to take a plea. That's a decision that you need to make. You just need to be informed. I need to give you all of the information so that you can know, and you're not, if you get convicted, you're not looking surprised when you get sentenced. Oh, I didn't know. Yes, you did.
So we got another question in there that kind of gets about juries and burden of proof and all this stuff. So Danielle says, could you talk about the prosecutor's high burden of proving someone guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and if or how that can skew a jury's verdict? I guess it's this idea that the jury would always kind of be thinking about, well, did they prove all the way beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is not guilty, or,
well,
how does that play in?
I think that honestly, it's the other way around. It's the people who sit next to me who are scared, right? They say that beyond a reasonable doubt, but people, because you poll jurors, so it's called voir dire or jury selection. The Latin word is voir dire, but during jury selection, so we get to talk to people, right? So say it is a child molestation case. We have questions that we get to ask the jurors, right? There's some people you get to take off of the jury just because they don't feel like they can do it, right? There are preemptive charges you get to take people off because maybe they have experienced child molestation, right? And they don't feel like that they can be fair and impartial. Like, I can't even listen. He's guilty. Just the thought of it, right? And we've had jurors tell us that before, like, that person, he would not be a defendant, or she would not be a defendant if she did not do something. If he did not do something, they had to have done something, right? And so, to be quite honest, I would argue that it's not so much of a burden for the prosecution. It should be, but really what I'm having to do is prove it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but really how our minds think just as human beings is guilty until proven innocent. I got to prove to you that I didn't do what they said I did. It's not supposed to be set up like that, but that's how it works out in real life, right? So you go to law school, you learn all these things, and everything looks great in theory. But in practice, that is how people are, because we can't leave our experiences out. So you try to get the best of the pool that you can get, people who can say, I can listen to this and I can be fair and I can be objective and not let whatever my personal experience is cloud what is actually going on in this case with this person. Does that make sense?
It just seems like, I guess, like if I was a juror, right, I would be sitting up there. I've never been a juror. I think I once came pretty close.
I really wanted to do it too. They never
I came
did.
close, but then they pleaded out, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going home. Right.
Right.
But it seems like if I was a juror and someone was asking me, knowing kind of how this can be put together, knowing the judge would hear what I have to say as a part of this jury, and then they could possibly like sentence this person to like the max, right? I guess I would be sitting there like, man, am I sure that I'm right in that this person is guilty of this thing, right? It seems like such a heavy weight for a juror that it's easier for them to be like, I don't know, man, especially like in a murder trial, I guess,
Right.
right? Because the other person's not there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I don't know all the things. I wasn't there, right? I don't know
Right.
why.
None of
You
us
know what I
know
mean?
all the things. But
Right,
again, it goes back to the democracy, right? And that's why
right,
judges and attorneys are so gracious and thankful for jurors, right? Because it is a heavy burden. But I mean, it's either that or you want to live in an eye for an eye, right? Now,
right,
a lot of times, like even with Gideon's Promise, they say criminal legal system, right? Because it's not always justice, right? But it's trying to get better, right? We're trying to get better. We're trying to redo some of these archaic laws and
right,
things that were set up so long ago. But we need jurors. We need people, and we need the good people who will sit on and who will listen and who will take notes and who will actually try to figure out. Because the reality of the situation is none of us know. None of us know what happened. And so when people ask me all the time, like, oh, how do you sleep at night? Being a criminal defense attorney, I sleep very well. You know why? Because all of us have to answer for what we've done, right? But when you talk about taking away somebody's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, you need to have dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's before you come for somebody. And that is what my job is, right? Make sure you are doing this right. Because look at all the cases and all the cases that people have been exonerated. And when,
right,
as technology gets better
right.
and different things. So, yeah, no, it is very easy. I tell people all the time, it is very easy to get caught up in the criminal justice system. It's so
Right.
easy for that, but it's not easy to get out, and people don't understand that.
That's deep. That's one of those gems, Jeff. That I feel like she's dropping gems on us, right?
And we have no sounder because that's what you're supposed to have a gem sounder.
I don't have it. Well,
That's
that's on me.
Womp, Carrie, that sounds like I messed up.
I did that to myself because he's right. I should have had it.
Oh, because y'all got the do.
See, I'm laughing at myself now. So it's on me.
so I got something that gets us back to the Ahmaud Arbery case, and and I'm sorry to our listeners, we're jumping around between 2, 3, 4 cases, people's questions. Daniel, we see yours. We'll get that in there next. But in the Ahmaud Arbery case, one of the things that we found out was that the former DA,
Jackie.
was legit obstructing justice. And so what does obstruction of justice really mean in this space?
Okay.
And then what happens to her if she's found guilty?
Okay, so obstruction basically person willfully or knowingly, the statute uses the word obstructs, but hinders, right, law enforcement from discharging their official duties, right? And so it can be a misdemeanor or it can be a felony, like felony obstruction if you're trying to bap the police, right? And you can also get up to $1,000 fine, right? In this case, she's charged with obstruction, she being Jackie Johnson, the former DA. She's charged with obstruction of justice because she told the police not to arrest Travis McMichael, right? You can't tell them to do that, right? The law enforcement and the prosecution, they work hand in hand, right? And so she told them not to arrest him.
Oh, did we lose Starr?
With obstruction.
Hold on, I think we might have lost you, Starr. Hold on, we'll wait till you. Oh, there you go. You're back. There we go. We're good.
I'm here. I never went anywhere. I heard you say that we lose Starr. That's your janky internet.
Whoa,
Eh,
hey,
whoa.
hold on now, hold on. You don't want to look pixelated now.
Don't
Oh,
do me.
roasted,
Don't do
roasted.
me. Don't.
They try to say
So
we in an AT&T commercial, y'all.
Right, she got the AOL dial-up internet over there.
So she charged with a misdemeanor obstruction, right? So that could get her up to 12 months. A misdemeanor was fine for that. The more serious charge that she was charged with was violating her oath of office, right? And that's when she was trying to curry favor with the McMichaels. And so you can't do that. You can't show favor or affection for them. And so that is a felony, and that is punishable by up to 5 years. So the judge can, that can be a probated sentence. And I always tell people that probation is a gift, right? Because that is the judge allowing you to serve your time in the community. Now, you'll have a probation officer, you're gonna have to pay fines, you might have to do community service, but you at home. Okay, they could give you a curfew. They could limit you to only being able to go to work, church, and the doctor's office. You see what I'm saying? They might make you take an anger management course. They can put all type of things, but that's still a gift because you're not in confinement. Or you could go to prison, right? Or you could get a suspended sentence. So a suspended sentence, kind of think of that as basically probation without reporting. So say you get a 5-year suspended sentence. You ain't got to report to anybody, but you are up under sentence. So if you get in trouble, if you get rearrested, then that's going to mess you up, right? Because you're still under sentence. So she could face up to 5 years. I don't know what is going to happen to her case. I don't know if they're going, because right now this is just alleged. When somebody is charged with something, it's an indictment. It's just it's an allegation. They're not guilty of anything. That's when you go through the process that we've already discussed. But she could, face up to 5 years in prison.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yo.
I got Daniel's question. I think I can answer Daniel's question.
Don't do Daniel like that.
No. But I think I've been in this position before.
Oh, okay.
Is skipping a court day a cool thing?
Absolutely.
Definitely not.
Daniel, that's called a bench warrant, sir.
They're
Okay,
coming
so
for you.
If there is ever a time that you cannot appear in court, you need to get with your attorney, because there can be instances in which you can get, excused depending on what it is. So like there's been plenty of times that I have gone to court, but maybe my client couldn't go to court, but we got that prior approval from the DA and from the judge first, right? But just not showing up to court, that will get you right back in jail. And how that works is because say you're on bond, right? When you're on bond, they're like, okay, are you going to be a threat to the community? Are you going to come to court when called upon? Okay. Are you going to come to court when called upon? And so if you don't, then they could put you back and say, you know what, depending on who the judge is, I'm going to make sure you at court next time. Come on, let's go on into custody right now. You're going to be on time. You're going to be there next time, right? So not going to court is never not a good thing.
Man, this has been a fire conversation. I don't really have nothing else. Carrie, you got more?
I think the only thing that I would want to ask for your lens on as an ex-public defender, right? As people kind of watch where the Aubrey kind of case, because they're expected to appeal, right? And even with Rittenhouse, I think this was a big thing that I've heard. There's two things. What should we be watching for out of the Aubrey cases appeal, the McMichaels appeal? And then secondly, with Rittenhouse, I've heard, I don't know, and I feel like I sound like a dumbass when people ask me about this, right? It's like, because he got off criminally, does that still open him up for like a civil case? Can those people's family kind of like sue him for civil,
like wrongful death? Okay, so it's a couple of things. So one, I would say there isn't really anything to look for an appeal, because we already talked about that. If there was, that's only going to be if like it's some kind of misconduct. Now, as far as the McMichaels, if I'm not mistaken, I think that they have already been federally charged, right, with the hate crime. So they're going to go through a whole nother trial, right?
Ooh, I
Because
didn't even know that.
that's what I think. I think
Wow.
that they have already been indicted for a federal hate crime. And so what you have to know is that, so as far as Rittenhouse is concerned, ain't no appeal, ain't no appeal. He won, he got acquitted.
Right.
So that's over. And once a jury is impaneled, so that means once we've gone through jury selection, the judge gave them their little rights, and then this is what it is, then jeopardy attaches. So a person cannot be retried for the same case, right? So there is nothing going to happen with Rittenhouse. Now, I don't know if they may be coming for him federally. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that is something that could happen. What was the second part of the question?
Can the families do civil? Because I'm assuming.
Yes, civil.
Okay.
So that's what they do. So I'll go back to my good old OJ, right? So
Right.
OJ
I remember
was
OJ got off.
acquitted. He was
Right.
acquitted
Right.
criminally, but then they tapped him, right? They tapped him. And so they get to use that information. So the fact that you are acquitted, or the fact that you were convicted, your testimony, you're bound by whatever you said in that trial, right? So that is going to come over. And then also, there is no Fifth Amendment, right? Right to not incriminate myself. That's only in criminal. That's not in civil. So those things come into play. And so that's how, I don't remember how much money it was that, they got OJ for, but yeah, they could still come. So, and typically it's like a wrongful death lawsuit, right? So what the family lost as a result of that, all the year, like what that person's life would have been, which is what you end up seeing with the officers who maybe not have, not gotten charged criminally, but the department settled. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those kind of things.
That was all my questions. This was crazy. This is wild. That I'm so thankful to have someone in the network that knows these things and can help us sound like we're more intelligent than what we deserve to be.
Hey,
so,
I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
I'm glad. And let me tell you something. All my Georgia folks, like, being ignorant of the law is not a defense. So, like, things that, I know it's all fun and games and we like to do stuff, but like, know some things, right? Like, really know some things, because that is not a defense. That is not a defense. I didn't know. Oh, well, now you know. It's one of those type of things.
Well, Danielle,
no. Danielle got another question. You gonna ask it?
Well, I was going to ask it, but you kind of already brought it up earlier in our conversation. So,
hey, that's your wife. She could have been.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask
because you're gonna get in trouble if you don't.
She says,
ask Danielle's question.
She says, do you think defendants that hire attorneys have an advantage over those that are assigned public defenders? Other than you.
Oh, thank you. No, I honestly, like I said, I've seen it. I've seen people pay private attorneys and they don't answer their phone calls. They don't investigate the cases, but they might have this reputation, right? They might have this reputation that precedes them, but they don't dignify them. Like, they don't talk to them about the case. They just be talking to them. You may as well be a public defender. You just talking to them at the time. Now, sometimes I have to just talk to my client when I'm just getting in court, because maybe your phone number doesn't work. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you're not returning my calls. There are different circumstances that happen, but no, I don't. I think that you have to take people as they are. Like I said, there are very good public defenders and not so great public defenders. And it's the same is true for private attorneys.
Thank you.
Man.
Dope.
Fire show, man.
What?
Fire show.
Thank you all for having me on.
All right, so in all defense, right, so I do have to tell our guests, our loyal listeners, we struggled with what to ask you to come on and do first, right? Because we want to be respectful and understand that you do have an amazing organization that we do want to have you back to talk about. No. But the cases were so pressing and in the news right now that if we didn't talk about it, will they be relevant in a month? So,
well, no, I think that this was amazing, and I appreciate you all having me come on. And like I said, I went to law school solely to become a public defender. But then also, me being an attorney was what I think was divine intervention. And it was what the foundation that I needed to be able to start my organization. So we can talk about that next time. Y'all just got to have me on again.
Yeah, no, we will definitely. No, because we do want to talk about the org.
Right.
Yeah, because that's a big conversation.
It's such a dope organization too.
Yeah.
And what we can do is we can send people home with homework to go on, check out the website.
Yes.
So that their knowledge
and they can check out on December 16th at 8:00 on NBC. The L'Oreal Paris Women of Worth. I'm a L'Oreal Paris Women of Worth honoree. So they're going to have a special so they can learn about the organization there.
Hey.
So that's the homework. Can y'all watch it, please?
Boom, boom.
On December 16th at 8:00 on NBC.
Did you share it already on Instagram already? You did, right?
Yes.
I think I liked it.
I've shared. You did. I think you reposted my little thing in my story.
Right. All right, hold on. I will. I'll share it on the Drunk Mondays page.
Yeah.
As a reminder, I'll do that as soon as we get off, so people can know. But yeah, your girl is legit, man. So super proud to know you. I give you a lot of hell and I talk a lot of trash. But you are really impressive, and I'm happy that I'm happy to call you friend.
Me too. Thank you so much. And I be telling Jeffrey, I be telling God peace that he is my unofficial board member.
Right. God peace.
God peace. Big G. Boom.
Big G.
Power. Not lowercase.
No apostrophe S.
No, but hey, I got the big joker, not the little joker, baby. Hey.
Oh, here we go. Every time we be trying to be on the same wavelength.
What?
Hey, big joker take little joker every time. Big G take little G every time. Whack.
Hey man, I think we got to get into our favorite part of the episode though.
Hero villain.
Heroes and
villain, baby. Heroes and
we
villain.
will at some point get a sound effect for that.
Yes.
We'll just add it to the list.
You're in charge of sound effects.
But,
okay, so
Carrie, you kind of fell off today. I really wanted my do. Right. I wanted my little do.
Hey, I gotta even figure out how to download that and put it on a computer, because every time I look for it, it'll never come through the right way. It's
you know what I love about this show, man, is we will transition like a mug from something super serious to like the emotional roller coaster we take people on is hilarious. Like we be like knee deep in like Ahmaud Arbery and then transition in 30 seconds to
right. But that's how Mondays go, right?
But I think that's how life should go, because especially in these past 2 years, we have seen so much, right? You just cannot take yourself so serious. I mean, life is hard, but you gotta find the joy. I'm a glass half full type of person.
Right. And then when I think about these things, it's like I was thinking about this the other day. A year and some change ago, we were sitting at the house living through a whole pandemic. Like this was the early 1900s. Like
that part.
Like I don't think I'm ever gonna forget. We were living in a pandemic. Like the world shut down like some shit out of a movie. And it was like, hey, shelter in place, man. Just shut it down.
Like we blinked and it was 2022. So
and you're like this. What?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Starr.
Got it.
Who's your hero?
My hero is going to be my son. His name is David. We call him Jordy, and he turns 8 on Thursday. I'm so not ready for that, y'all. And as a matter of fact, I had COVID when he turned 7 last year, and so I couldn't even hug my baby. I had to FaceTime my baby. So he really saved my life, my little baby. And so he's going to be my hero. And my villain is going to be whoever said Jeffrey means God peace. Yeah. That's my villain.
Hey,
because I don't agree with that. I'm
me
not
tell you
in
something.
alignment with that. I'm not
Don't
in
blame
alignment
me
with
because
that.
y'all got regular ass names.
I'm not in alignment.
Hey,
Bro,
God
hey, let me tell you
Peace
something.
Brown. God Peace Brown.
Courteous Brown. Because
I'm
you got
calling him
God
Meta World
Peace
Peace.
Courteous
Carrie,
Brown.
call
like,
him Meta
bro,
World Peace. Call him
bro,
Meta World
Right.
Peace.
all I'm saying is don't be mad at me because y'all have regular ass names.
My name is not regular, baby.
Somebody can't spell.
First and foremost, now
Did you hear the
Shavantane.
snaps?
My daddy did make Shavantane up. Okay, for your listeners, Shavantane is my first name. Okay,
Okay.
but Margie Morning Star, that's my middle name, Carrie. Margie Morning Star. Yes.
Why you got so many?
Because my grandpa, was Native American.
Is it all one name, or is there hyphens in there? Is it Margie Morning?
Let me get into it real quick. Y'all gotta let me get into it. MARGIEMOIN-STARR Davis. And my married and maiden name is Davis because my God don't play about me. And I used to tell my best friend all the time, like, Shavantane Margie Morning Star doesn't go with anything else but Davis. Like, you can't put Robinson on the end of that. You can't put. My name was already 30 letters long, and my mom made me learn how to spell it before I went to kindergarten. True story.
Because that's like putting respect on your name, right?
It's putting respect on it. And my granddaddy knew
kindergarten,
something.
you got to be like, oh, no. You're going to spell this name right.
Correct.
I will say the thing I appreciate the most right now is you see all those people talking about, baby girl, correct them every single time.
Yeah.
You see that a lot on social with people talking about make sure you correct these people when they get your name wrong. And I'm like, you're right. We've gone so long, talking about, like, don't give your kids this name or that name. Give your kids whatever the hell name you want, and then empower their ass to correct motherfuckers every time they say it.
If I had to learn how to spell Steven 8 to 10 different ways,
right,
from little white kids that was like STEVEN, STEPHEN, STEFAN, ST, like, what the you know what I mean? If I had to learn all those ways, you can learn Jamal. You know what I mean? You can learn Michael. You can learn Michael. That's not.
You can learn
that's not that hard, right?
You can learn Shavantane. You can learn it.
Right. Learn it. It's okay.
Now,
flex your muscles.
Nobody calls me that. Like, true story, my family has called me Starr since I was born. I'm like, Mom, you should have just named me Starr. But it is my name.
Can we call you Morningside now?
Morning Star?
Whatever.
Yes, if
Morning
you like.
Star.
Because y'all, the bar, the State Bar of Georgia sends me every piece of correspondence with Shavantane Margie Morning Star Davis.
Boom. That's respect on your name, though.
I'm changing your name in my phone to Morningstar.
That's not even respect. That's respect.
Every piece of correspondence. I said, now why y'all wasting paper like that? Cut it out.
Respect that.
Yeah.
Jeff, who's your hero villain? Who you got?
Man, my hero has to be The Matrix, man. It's back in theaters. I think it's Christmas Day. Like, let me tell you something. Like, I grew up, like, my formative years were The Matrix.
I don't think I've even watched the whole one.
Dude,
that's your fault.
I have to admit, I saw trailer number 2
today,
and I almost cried because I was so excited. I was like this. Oh my God.
Hey, I am so, like, to me with Matrix, it doesn't matter how long that movie is.
Right.
They could have said the runtime on that thing is 3 days, and I would have sat there.
I would have been like this. I'd have been like, okay, so gotta pack snacks, or are we going to get some food?
That's what I'm saying. I'm in there.
Right.
I mean, but you're also talking to somebody who said at the theater, when they dropped Avengers 1, the theater that was next to the crib did the full phase 1, starting with Hulk all the way, and then the last thing that they played at midnight was Avengers. And so I was in that mug all day.
Like, now I support that because this is a Marvel house. So
All
I
right.
can support that.
I'm probably gonna have to go back and rewatch Matrix 1, 2, and 3
Oh.
before Matrix 4 drops. Like
Well,
I
you
am
can have all of
no.
that.
You're not a real fan. I'm probably gonna have to watch Matrix 1, 2, 3, watch the Animatrix, and then I might have to go find the video game online just so I can fill in all the gaps. So I could be like, okay, the path of Neo. Uh-huh.
I'm excited.
No.
I gotta get it in because this is it's too good of a trailer. It's too good of a trailer. The trailer looks better than half the movies that came out.
I'm gonna
in
need
the
to see the
pandemic.
trailer.
I mean, I will say,
and I'm gonna go pay $35 to go see the thing in 3D IMAX, full RPX experience 4D. I don't care.
I hadn't seen a movie in IMAX in a long time. Matrix is gonna be
cut it out. Y'all gotta cut it out.
Oh no.
I mean, real talk. December is gonna be expensive because you got Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You got Spider-Man, you got Matrix, and you got 007.
007.
I think 007 comes out in December.
That already
It's
came
already out.
Oh, that is out.
That's
Okay, I ain't
already
watching.
out.
All right, never mind. That's on me then. That's on me because I did want to see that, and I'm like, anyway.
I do feel like it's something else coming out, but
I thought it was something else coming out in
Are y'all
December that
going
was
to the
big.
movies? Or y'all gonna watch this stuff on HBO?
No, I'm definitely
going. I'm going to see Matrix in the movies.
I'm gonna go see Matrix. Just to be clear, Matrix probably comes out on Friday, right?
I'll probably
I'm going to find a way to watch it Wednesday, IMAX full load, and then I will probably watch it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday leading up to Christmas. I will be
what does this make y'all? What
real talk though.
I'll be like this.
I will probably go get the booster.
Hey,
because I'm already good to go. I'm probably gonna get the booster. See, I forgot that I could get it, but I'm probably now gonna wait until like the week before the movie drop. This way, it's in the system at its peak consistency.
Danielle talking about don't hype it up. Danielle talking about don't hype it up, bruh. The trailer.
It's too late.
I'm with Danielle.
It's too late to hype. It's too late not to hype it up.
It's too late. It's
the
too late.
minute they announced it.
Yeah,
I'll shoot it to. Hold on.
The trailer. Wait a minute. I could actually pull up the trailer, but you gotta be.
But you can't have my do. But
no, because I think you might get blocked. You might get us kicked off of YouTube if you play it live.
I want to do that. Yeah.
Real talk. So another thing before I get my villain, we are streaming live on YouTube now as well. So we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So if you want, go like us, go like our page over on YouTube. We're gonna eventually try. Maybe I'll do that over Christmas break. Try to get all. I think this is episode 53. So go back and get all 52 other episodes on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to make sure that we go live on both every time. So no matter where you are, whether you like Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to get the show. So
we're trying
don't switch out when y'all get all big and stuff.
Oh hell no! This is who we are. I mean, eventually I would love to transition this to like real TV.
Exactly.
And then we're just gonna be regular. It's gonna have to be on HBO because your boy cursed too much to be on like ABC.
Correct.
What would be dope is if a show got us to do their talking about, like the recap after the show.
Yeah, we should do it. Yeah, we'll be great after show house.
We'd be perfect. We were like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
What's that man on the for the NFL who does it for the games? He's like,
or we do like watch along show. We should do a watch along show. If we
should find a new show, maybe Fire and Ice, the House of Fire and.
I thought they canceled that.
What is
the dragon one, the House of. No,
HBO canceled the Game of Thrones prequel.
No, they canceled one of them. They didn't.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't know. I feel like we got to watch a show that's real big in the Black community, and do a watch along show because
we could do Southside. Southside is hilarious.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, my villain, because I know we already like an hour and a half past our bedtime. My villain is Dollar General. Because like first off, I hate Dollar General period because they only post up in low income kind of food desert kind of communities, and so
predatory.
Yeah, that's uber predatory in their practices.
Right.
No, they coming up. They kind of everywhere now.
Just because they got bad steak, don't do that. So so recently they announced that they're going up on their price to $1.25. And they're blaming, quote unquote, the pandemic, and they're blaming shipping and all the rest of that shit. When their profits were in the billions of dollars last year. Give me a break, dude. You can still keep the eggs at $1. You can still keep the trash ass aluminum foil that you sell at $1, right? Like
they sell Reynolds though, because I be in a dollar store. I'm just
no. Hey, so
Clark
Howard said you should buy all your staples like toothpaste and stuff at the dollar store because it's the same stuff.
No, they don't have Sensodyne. I'm not doing
But my issue, that's because you got the sensitive ass teeth. And so my issue with the dollar store is if you're going to already be predatory, right, and you're going to be in these low-income communities, right, if that's where you're putting the bulk of your stores, then dang it, we can argue that a quarter don't mean nothing, but it means a lot to a whole lot of people.
It means a lot to a lot of people with
that's
a
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And so
it's
it's trash.
Right.
It's 100% trash, and it didn't need to happen because your profits are already in the billions of freaking dollars. So
I agree.
I'm off my high horse. I apologize. I hadn't been on a high horse in a long time, but somebody brought it up in pre-show, so that's what y'all get.
Okay. Well, I don't have necessarily a hero villain. I have two reflection points. Last week, Jeff got me ranting about Boys to Men, right? I have to tell you that we had a very deep sideways conversation at work today, right? Let me set the premise for what's going on. It has nothing to do with Boys to Men. You do not have to worry about this.
But I did send in Boys to Men songs all week.
You tried. And I deleted them all. I deleted them all.
Carrie, this is shameful of you.
I just blacked out. I heard you started singing it, and I just was like, that note sounded like Wanye. Wanye. No.
All right, go. So we ain't on here 2 hours.
So here's the debate, and I'm curious to get both your perspectives, right? One of my coworkers says they have a book club, right? We're like, oh, what are y'all reading? They said, well, we do audiobooks. And I said, what? They said we do audiobooks in our book club. And it was like, it's the same thing. And we had a lively discussion about this for probably about a good hour of people being like, nah, it's not the same. So what do? You just like play a speaker and like people are listening to the book together? Like, do you guys listen at the same pace? Like, how's this working?
I think you still have to listen before you get there.
Yeah, you're supposed to do it before you get there, right?
I don't know, but I'm not
in book club, so I don't know.
But when someone says they read the book, do you count that as like audio listening, or is it reading the actual book?
I think that I have a lot of friends who listen to books on audio. It's not a me. I need to feel a book. Right. I can't listen, but I kind of really don't like to listen to like podcasts and stuff. It's something about me, like I need to I can listen to a sermon and stuff, right, but I got to read a book. I want to turn the page. I want to feel the book.
Right.
So I'd like to
audio doesn't do it for me.
So I'd like to point out real quick.
Yeah.
Starr just said that she has a lot of friends that prefer audiobooks, but she has a book coming out in a couple months. But it's not doing the audio book.
But they bought my book, so
that's all. I just want to point this out.
So okay, so I'm gonna give you the caveat. It's because of time, right? They like to read, but they're wives, they're mothers, so it's when they're driving. You know what I'm saying? It's when they can.
I get it.
So it's the convenience of it all.
I get it.
But I have friends who really want to, even though they have the audio. So this is what they do: they buy the audio and they buy the real book too.
So let me ask you this. When your friends say, oh, I've read that book, were you like, did you read the book or did you like listen to the book?
No, because they'll say, oh, I listened to that on audio.
I think I would listen to it.
They'll say whatever they did.
Yeah.
I think they were getting on my coworker because this guy was like, oh, yeah, I've read all these books. And they were like, how did you read all these books?
Yeah,
I'm listening to them in a car.
No.
It's like, not the same.
But I do have a friend. She legit reads the books. She reads a lot of books, and she reads the actual book.
Okay.
I don't think she does much audio. She reads.
Okay.
I mean, I bought your book, but I'm gonna wait till the audio book drop though.
No, you're gonna read that book and write a review in the first 30 days.
Hey,
I'm hazing you. I'm hazing.
Can you send me the Cliff Notes and then I write
right.
I write the review off the Cliff Notes.
I will do no such thing.
So in my second reflection, right? I gotta spot the hustle. You know, Jeff, I love spotting the hustle. There is a new judge, a rookie judge in Douglas County, right? Her name is Christina Peterson. Okay. Christina Peterson is a probate judge that stands to make the most money of all the judges in the state of Georgia because she has found some wiggle room in how the court assesses fees to marriage licenses, little certificate kind of processing things. And there's a discretionary thing in Douglas County where they haven't defined that she can only make so much. They leave it up to the judge to say how much of the fee she keeps. She chose violence every day and said, I want the max fee and I would like all the money.
She related to that's his cousin. That's his cousin.
She go pocket $280,000 this year, and it's not even over yet. She's pocketed $280,000 to this year. This is her first year. She just got into office.
Find the loophole.
Hey, find the loophole. Find the loophole and come up.
They interviewed her and she defended everything. She was like, I mean, if I had just went with what the last person did, I would be broke. So I challenge y'all to go out there, go see it.
I gotta go read that.
Her pay is set at 127. She's assessed up to the 280 in fees and is keeping all the money.
I ain't mad at her.
What percentage would you like to keep? All percentages.
That's not my problem. It's yours.
I'm not mad at her because I know that somewhere in some podunk country town somewhere, somebody is doing that as well. She learned the game from someone. So I tip my hat to you, Judge Christina Peterson. I will never be in your court for anything because I know you're going to tax me. But but Lord bless us.
Hey.
So
another fire episode, I think. Don't you agree?
Another fire episode. Great episode. Thank you, Starr, for coming on.
Hey, real talk. Before we bounce out, Starr, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you if they want to reach you.
Oh, okay. So Instagram at the Starr Institute, Starr with 2 R's _ Facebook. Shavantine Starr Davis is my personal account, and the Starr Institute. The Starr Institute is my business account. Mm-hmm.
You're scratching your nose like you play with the nose candy though.
Get me off of this, because see, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him on every level. Okay, it has been enough. Carrie, you might need to get a new co-host.
Jeff Chirpy shout.
Oh man, hey man, thank y'all so much. Great show. I'm Jeff.
I have fun. This was great. I was Carrie. I am Carrie. So not was, but
all you had was a little shot.
I know. All I had was one thing.
You just had a little piece of a shot.
Hey, we're out. See y'all next Monday.
Peace out.
Peace out.